The hollow barn sat on the outskirts of Cedarvale, Iowa, a town most people pass through without stopping. Locals called it hollow, not because it was empty, but because of the sound it made at night. When the wind moved through its warped boards, it produced a low, hollow moan that seemed almost human. Caleb Turner never believed the stories. He was a photographer, driving across the Midwest, capturing forgotten places for his new project, America Abandoned. When a gas station clerk mentioned the barn and its voices, Caleb's curiosity got the better of him. That evening, with the sun slipping below the horizon, he turned down a gravel road and headed straight toward it. The barn was massive. Its red paint faded to a dull rust, roof sagging in the middle. A hand-painted sign hung crookedly on the fence. "Keep out." Caleb parked his truck, grabbed his camera, and stepped out. The air felt heavy, like a storm was brewing, though the sky was clear. As he got closer, he noticed something strange. No crickets, no birds, just the creak of old wood shifting in the breeze. He raised his camera and took the first shot. The shutter echoed through the silence. Then came a faint sound from inside the barn, a slow dragging noise, like something being pulled across the floor. He froze, waiting. The sound stopped. He called out, "Hello." No answer. Maybe an animal, he thought. He pulled out his flashlight and pushed open the barn door. It groaned like a wounded animal. Dust swirled in the beam of his light. The air smelled of rot and old hay. There were strange symbols carved into the wooden beams, circular, almost ritualistic. As he stepped deeper inside, the temperature dropped sharply. His breath turned white. Then out of nowhere came that hollow sound, long, low, and resonant, like the barn itself was exhaling. It rattled through his chest, vibrating the air. Caleb backed toward the door, heart hammering, but the sound didn't stop. It deepened. The flashlight flickered. He tapped it, but when it came back on, something new had appeared. Handprints. Dozens of them, smeared into the dust along the walls. Some were small, child-sized. They looked fresh. He aimed his camera and snapped the photo, but when he glanced at the preview screen, there was something behind the handprints. Faint outlines of figures standing in the shadows. He spun around. Nothing. The space was empty. The hollow moan started again, louder this time, almost like voices overlapping, too distorted to understand. The camera slipped from his grip, clattering on the wooden floor. And then, from somewhere above, came a thud. He aimed his light upward. The rafters were high, the wood dark and splintered. Something hung from one of the beams, a rope, frayed and swaying gently though the air was still. His chest tightened. He picked up the camera, backed toward the exit, and whispered, "I'm done." The barn didn't agree. A violent gust slammed the door shut, plunging him into darkness. His flashlight went out again. In the blackness, the sound changed. No longer hollow, it was wet, like someone whispering through water. He could feel vibrations in the floorboards, faint footsteps circling him. "It's just the wind," he muttered, though even he didn't believe it. He stumbled toward where he thought the door was, feeling along the wall, but the texture changed, soft, almost rubbery. His fingers brushed something warm and damp. He jerked his hand back and the whispering stopped. Then came a single clear word, spoken right beside his ear. "Stay." Caleb bolted forward, slamming against the door. It didn't budge. He rammed it again, and it finally gave way, sending him sprawling into the dirt outside. The night air hit him like a shock. He scrambled to his truck, started the engine, and tore down the road without looking back. He didn't stop driving until he reached town. At the motel, he checked the photos on his camera. Most were blurry, streaked with light trails, but one stood out. The shot of the handprints. Zooming in, his heart sank. Between the prints, faint outlines of faces pressed against the inside of the wood, mouths open mid-scream. He turned off the camera and tried to sleep, but every time he closed his eyes, he heard that same hollow moan echoing in his head. The next morning, he drove back to return the key to the gas station clerk, who stared at him like he'd seen a ghost. "You went there at night?" the man asked quietly. Caleb nodded. The clerk swallowed hard. "That barn burned down in 1984. Caleb froze. "No, it's still there. I took pictures." The clerk shook his head. "You must have gone somewhere else, son. That place has been gone 40 years. Caleb pulled out his camera to show him, but the memory card was blank. Every photo had vanished. He left town that afternoon, unable to shake the unease curling in his chest. Weeks later, while editing his next batch of photos, he noticed something strange, a faint red barn in the background of several shots he didn't remember taking. Same sagging roof, same hollow walls, and sometimes, if he turned the volume up high enough, he swore he could hear it again. That deep, aching sound of something waiting to be found.